What advice do you wish that you had at the start of your career?
I think probably really it would have been good to understand that a productive career path is not a straight line. It's more of a meandering river flow. The best way to get where you want to go is not junior developer, senior developer, principal developer, distinguished engineer. I mean, it is possible that way, right? But I think you miss so much in breadth that way, making it harder and harder to progress, because the further you go, the more understanding you need of the business as a whole, rather than that very siloed view of the world. That ability to get more breadth and become a T-shaped person is kind of important. Those are really, I think, the people everyone likes to work with the most. They can empathize, they can understand others' needs. It's a huge and incredibly valuable asset to you and to others, and particularly, I think, to your career journey. So I guess really my advice is, don't ignore opportunities that come along that aren't in that direct line to your goal. Evaluate those possibilities that you might have to learn or develop in new ways that you might not have envisaged, that probably can prepare you for a future in amazing ways. I mean, it can be a bit scary to try something that's a bit different, but if you see those challenges as learning opportunities and embrace them, you can have a really great time learning and growing. Those sort of career path diversions sometimes don't return to the original path, though. So, a warning: you might discover something you love and enjoy more than you ever thought. So you might discover a new career path along the way, and take you in new directions. But I think taking that trip down that meandering river can be so much more powerful than a drive down a long, straight and pretty boring motorway. You might get there faster down the motorway, but what have you learned and gained on the way that's going to make you great when you get there? It really isn't all about the destination. It's so much more about the journey. My journey has involved roles like, I've been an electronics engineer, software engineer, team lead, technical lead manager, architect, product manager, business growth development director. That's, quite a diverse set of roles, but I've enjoyed and learned so much from all those roles. And, who knows where the next one might take me.
Can you share a pivotal moment in your career that had a significant impact?
Yeah, I mean, I had a pretty big event, if you like. About 10 years ago, I had an opportunity to take part in the Startup Accelerator program out in Silicon Valley as an entrepreneur rather than an entrepreneur, which was quite an interesting prospect. I was really lucky to have that opportunity, and it was absolutely amazing, but a little bit scary to say the least, but an amazing opportunity anyway. So through that process, I got to go through the whole lean startup model with a brand new product concept within a cohort of other startups. An absolutely fantastic experience. But to cut a very long story very short, I went in as an engineer and I came out kind of a year later as something completely different. I got to partake in all the different facets of, running a business: marketing, sales, product development. A great deal of that actually was a real shock to the system. But as a result, I think I emerged from that process as someone who understood value delivery rather than software delivery. It changed my whole perspective. In terms of job roles, I found myself more aligned with things like product management than pure engineering. And don't get me wrong, I still love to code, still love to make things. But I think it's much more to me now about making someone's life better, more efficient, whilst delivering value to the business as well. It's not one-sided. You've got to balance that across. So, my focus now is everything I do is outcome-based, with as much customer engagement as possible to deliver something that really changes people's lives, rather than thinking about, if the code is written in the best style or do the unit tests pass. Those things are really important, but without delivering any value, they're kind of a pointless metric, right? Seeing that value delivered, be it to internal stakeholders or customers, is really rewarding, I think, to me, to the business, and to all the people that work with me. It's really ultimately what we all end up celebrating, and that is the success, I think.
Speaking of challenges, so what strategies do you use to overcome challenges in your professional life?
There are lots of challenges in professional life, right? They come in all shapes and sizes, and they never really stop coming, right? You can't ignore them. You've got to embrace them and move forward, or you're just going to get weighed down and stuck. But, I find generally that to do lots of listening, and listening to understand, not to respond. That's a really important difference. Work with people, build the trust and empower people, and you end up building relationships where in return you get support and mentoring. And that mentoring can come from any direction: managers, peers, people who work for you. It's that real 360 sphere of help. I think that makes all these challenges just easier, more bearable. I know, a problem shared is a problem halved, those kind of statements, but these problems are much more approachable if you don't feel alone. Collaboration, teamwork, share the glorious times and the not so glorious times, right? Embrace failure and learn from those experiences, and that really helps with those future challenges too. So, I can really strongly recommend though that you move on and don't dwell on the problems. Get through them, look forward, use them as positive experiences, even if they didn't go so well. Learn from those learnings and use that gained experience. And where possible, try and share some of those learnings with others to help them in future as well. It's all part of being a community, right? Almost a self-help group, if you like, if you get it right. But there's one thing, right, that I think is more important than anything with these challenges, and that is try to leave those challenges in your professional space. Do not bring them into the rest of your life. Maintaining that work-life separation is really, really key to not burning out and having the energy and strength, that freshness to meet the next challenge, because there's one coming your way, you guarantee it, right? It's really important. If you're stuck bringing all of the problems home and not letting them go, they just build up to a point where you can't manage. So you really have to find a way of, using your support network, building that support network, and pushing forwards and taking it all as positively as you possibly can.